Hello everyone, welcome again to Stan, Steve and Spider-Man, the show where we go through Stanley and Steve Ditko's Titanic Amazing Spider-Man run and have some fun along the way. This issue will be a sense of deja vu, maybe? I don't know. We have our first recurring villain in Amazing Spider-Man issue 7. And joining me to tackle this old foe is someone who has seemed to have a turnaround of opinions on him. As always, it is the fantastic Matt.
What's up, dogs? How are you doing, pal?
I'm alright, buddy. Excited to be able to get into this. What about you?
Oh, I had a timer for some reason. That was scary. I am ready to go.
Ready and raring.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am all excited.
So, first off, I'm just going to throw out there, out of every villain we've had so far, did you think the Vulture would be the one the most likely to come back first?
I mean, I see why he did come back first, just because he was the first villain, like villain that was actually not just like the Tinker or Chameleon. Like he was the first one I feel like that resonated. If that makes sense. But he wouldn't be the one I would bring back first. I would have brought back Doc Ock first, or I don't know. Oh, actually, yeah, I would have brought Doc Ock back. Like that's just the only answer. Or like maybe Sandman.
Yeah, I could see Sandman coming back.
I actually would have done Sandman teaming up with Vulture.
Oh, Jesus. How would they even team up? One's in the sky, one was in the bottom, on the ground. They'd never be able to fight together.
Exactly, but Sandman would take the high road, Vulture will take the low, or other way around. Vulture would take the high road, Sandman would take the low road, and then Spider-Man doesn't know which one to go after.
No, I think you were right the first time. That's how you really confuse Spider-Man.
Well, that's kind of what Vulture does in this issue. He flies really low a lot.
Yeah, you're right, actually. My God, they're too intelligent for our mere mortal minds to comprehend. But yeah, Vulture coming back is kind of a surprising thing, and the most surprising thing is, as we're told in a nice little bit of narration box by Stan Lee, is apparently this was highly requested.
Yeah, I call bullshit on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if people's tastes were different in this. Like, it's a good issue. Like, Amazing Spider-Man issue 2 was a good one. But I don't think that would be the one. Maybe, see, it's the thing, because it gives us a nice insight in production. We don't know how much of a buffer they actually have between, okay, this issue's getting published, and then by the time this is when the letters come back, what issue are we working on? Maybe they had only just got feedback back from 2 when they were working on the plot for this, and they were like, oh, let's bring back the Vulture, and then they get to 3 and they're like, oh, Doc Octopus was really good as well, let's get this feedback. And then maybe that's why they brought him back. If you just compare Vulture to Chameleon and Tinkerer, I can see him being the most popular one.
Yeah.
I mean, the only one over that is like Uncle Ben's killer.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess you're right. It really just depends on production, because Vulture is by far, for the first 3 issues, the coolest villain.
Yeah. So I mean, not the highest bar, but I get him. So Stanley always loves to throw stuff out there with like hyperbolic things, and like he likes to stroke his Marvel Comics dicks quite a bit. So I understand if there's some of that, but I can also technically buy maybe fan request, even if we think it's weird today.
I guess that's true. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I think you're right. I think it just really depends on how long of it they got in between. But I don't know. This cover though.
Oh yes, this cover. One that was very famously, well, not famously, but there was a very, before Homecoming came out, there was a lot of fan art just recreating this cover with the Homecoming suits for some reason, rather than the first cover. Which I guess directly, which of these covers do you prefer? The first appearance of the Vulture or this one?
I need. Oh, let me pull up a picture of the first appearance real fast
No
because
worries.
I'm pretty sure I know my answer. I don't know how to spell Vulture apparently. Oh yeah. Oh, these are both really good actually. But I would have to take some points off to just because I hate this fucking square thing with the Tinkerer. Uh, like Spider-Man. My big thing I think lately I've been judging the Spider-Man covers on is how good does Spider-Man look.
Yeah.
And holy shit, I think Spider-Man looks absolutely flawless on issue 7.
Really?
Like I think so. Yeah, like the pose is kind of weird.
That's my biggest thing. Is I think the pose is much weaker.
Yeah, no. So the pose is weaker, but the detail that they put into the drawing, like how the body's made, it looks like it could have been like a Spider-Man comic. Like you told me like this image came from any era besides the '90s, and I would have believed it. Like you could have told me this, like this image in black and white.
You think it would be anyone's pencils?
Yeah. It could be anyone's pencils. It's a very universal Spider-Man. I think that's cool.
This very much looks like the most John Romita Spider-Man Steve Ditko ever drew.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it looks like everyone's Spider-Man but McFarlane.
Especially we finally have, because if you've noticed throughout this series, basically, the one aspect that's changed a lot is the back spider. This is the back, especially compared to the very first early issues. It's very thin. It's very spindly. It looks
like an ant.
Yeah. Now this is the back spider that will stay with Spider-Man forever in the comics. Like this design's never changed now.
Yeah, for real.
Very much the musculature he's looking bigger than he is in the issue, at least in the chest. And like he looks quite burly there. His arms still look pretty thin, so this is kind of Peter Parker in an awkward puberty phase, transitioning between. Because again, the one thing we learn in this issue as well, quite a lot of time's passed in 7 issues than you would think.
Yeah. So yeah, Peter's body essentially is going from small to dummy thick. Wait, yeah, hold on. I'll say, does it tell you somewhere how much time it's actually been? Oh, months.
Yeah, so it says it's been months since the fight versus the Vulture, which could mean anything. It can mean 2 months, 3 months, 7 months, anything under a year since the first fight with the Vulture. Which, I mean, compared to how... Because this was the thing. Back in the day, Marvel Comics was very close to time passing in the comics was the same as it passed in the real world that was being published. Very close to it. Like... The Fantastic Four had aged and had their first Franklin Richards by like inaccurate years to what would have been since when Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were writing it.
That's really cool.
And again, as we'll see, in Peter Parker goes through all of high school basically through just this run. And then he enters college and is almost done with his first year of college by the end of it.
Yeah, I like that. Because like I feel like with current Spider-Man comics, like I feel like he just runs into supervillains way too often. I don't like the idea that he's running into supervillains all that much. So like the way it's being brought to us right now, like feels like seeing a supervillain is a big deal to Spider-Man, like just as is to us, because like it isn't like your typical like like crooks and car thieves and stuff that he usually has to deal with. Like a supervillain is actually a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting. I didn't read that for months, but it naturally just kind of felt like that.
Yeah, especially because as we've been going with this, people would have been reading it. Spider-Man's starting to get big in the real thing. I don't know if I don't think it has, but I know very soon. I think by like issue 12, the TV show is gonna start. Like the sixth Spider-Man. That's gonna start soon. And that's
Oh,
when
really?
that's when he really gets like pop culture. Spider-Man's the biggest thing ever.
Oh wow, we're getting there. That's wild. Yeah, no, he's you could definitely feel that this is a product they're very proud of
Mm-hmm.
at this point. Oh, that's sweet. But no, we get a little we get a little flashback about the fucking last battle, and then I don't know, man. Vultures is so funny to look at. like it's really hard for me to talk about Vulture while I'm looking at Vulture.
Because he's just kind of just like absorbs your attention.
Yeah, because because it so cuts to months later, and like the guards talking about like he's the best prisoner we got. And then like best by the warden lets him use the trustee shop. He's so cool. And then the Vulture's like doing typical like sneaky bad guy shit. He's like, hey, I'm gonna take away these parts and I'm gonna make myself a Vulture suit. And then you get this panel where he's just hovering. He just looks so big brained. It's just there's this video online going around where it's like a dude floating and people put like different like songs and music to it, and like my favorite one is like this Kid Cudi going that's the same exact energy as this panel.
Oh my god, it is very much completely like, you have to see it to believe it, folks, but like he's made it so like his prison jumpsuit is like, he didn't have to go this far, but he's stretched it out like wings.
Yeah.
And, like, he's got the little hub from where his device is, and he's just kind of just floating in the middle of his room. Not like dynamically, or like you see him from top bottom, so you get this like imposing figure. You just like get a straight shot of just him floating a couple meters off the ground.
Well, and it's also just how Ditko drew his face. He looks like he's in such deep thought. Like he's really
like,
has to concentrate.
He has to concentrate for this. But yeah, I also like it's funny is that they're like, oh, he's the best behaved prisoner in this place, and yet they don't know his name. He's still not Adrian Tubes. He's still the Vulture.
Oh my god, you're right. I didn't even notice it. Oh my, they're still calling him the Vulture.
Because he doesn't have a name yet.
I know. Come on, Stan. Just silly less to make up names. Why is it taking so long?
I don't even think Vulture is named by Stan Lee.
Really? That's wild.
I might have to double check that, but like I legitimately do not think he's named by Stan Lee. I think they just call him the Vulture.
It almost makes you almost wonder. Do you think if I almost feel like whoever named him kind of. I feel like if you give the character a name, you deserve some sort of like
credit.
Yeah, like creative credit. And I wonder if like whoever came up with the name gets credit.
I think the closest thing that would happen is it must have happened when Ramita was on the book. So maybe Stan Lee did name him, but I know for a fact Ditko probably didn't get involved in that, because there's a part in like Ramita and Stan Lee's bit where like someone else takes over the name of the Vulture, and I think that would have to get mentioned then.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's been a while since I've read those issues, so who knows? But yeah, we get another spectacular panel of Vulture floating. He's always T-posing. It's the funniest thing.
Yeah, he's just T-posing a big prison jumpsuit. And he's just fucking chase. He eats out the prison yard.
Yeah, he just flies over. Everyone's just looking at him, and to be fair, it's like, okay, I can buy this as a prison escape. Like, they didn't expect him to just randomly start flying. They did take away his equipment in the end, so because at the last issue we just see him in his full Vulture suit in jail, but now it's like they actually took it off him at some point. And yeah, so he like flies off. Quite a clever, like, okay, I could buy this as a reason he escaped prison. Maybe not that it took so long, but I don't know. But then we cut from Vulture being his magnificent, glorious self to Peter Parker having a little bit more trouble in the sports side of things.
Why are they playing volleyball with sweaters on?
Look, sweaters were just it back then. That's just what you had to wear. They didn't have compression shirts. They didn't have. I don't know what people wore in the 60s, but I know for a fact they wore sweaters. Especially Peter Parker, his blue suit's gone. He's just wearing a yellow sweater and tie, playing volleyball.
Well, a lot of kids in '60s wore T-shirts, Alfie.
maybe you know more about actual people than I do.
Yeah, I'll say, well, like '60s America, I've seen pictures. A lot of people would have wore T-shirts and shorts, like right now.
Well, everyone wore tie in Steve Ditko's imagination, so I'm gonna believe him more than you, Matt. I think it's full of shit.
Yeah, I was like, I like this like theory, despite like how in touch Stan and like Ditko thought they were the kids' youth. They just assume kids dress like old men.
Yeah, I can totally buy that, especially when we get to like some political dialogue a little in future issues. There's just like yeeks. Ditko especially did not like the youth. Stanley loved young people, but like Ditko was very much these kids don't know what the fuck they're doing kind of person.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, shocker, volleyball doesn't go well. Flash starts singing him some great one-liners about how he's a weakling.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all because they get a little note, or not a note, a radio call, which the panels is so interesting to me because this dude has the radio way too close to his ear.
Yeah, and he's like, his eyes are closed. He looks like he's really intensely listening to this.
Yeah. And the special bulletin is that the Vulture had escaped prison, which I guess Spider-Man can hear, which still doesn't make sense. Like, is it like? I guess the radio must be really loud because Peter can hear it. Peter's like pretty like far away.
Yeah.
Like.
So if it's loud enough for Peter to hear it, and he's got it that close to his ear.
Yeah, like he's giving himself ear damage. I'm glad I'm really focusing on the important things of this issue. But you know, but Peter's got to do his typical stuff where he's just like, I have a headache, and he has to get home to prepare to fight.
Mm-hmm.
His greatest
I
enemy.
also like how he's kind of like, he's like accepted the Vulture as his bad guy. Like he's not like, oh well, who knows, maybe Iron Man will fight it or something. But he's like, no, Spider-Man is the best one suited to catch him, even though you can't fly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's be honest, Vulture's such an easy one for Iron Man to beat.
Yeah.
No, I think it's cool. He's really like walking into that responsibility. And then, what do you think of this like 3-panel sequence that like followed in the next page, where it's just like him like showing off the web capsules?
See,
like
part of me is like, I like it because it's cool to see all of that, but it's also suspiciously similar to another one we've had.
Oh, you think they took it?
I feel like there's a reason why the start of this issue opens with flashback panels, and then that's in there, and we're fighting the Vulture again. This is maybe a bit of a hot take, but I feel like they might have had a swamp of production with this issue, and they needed a break.
Interesting.
And that's why they brought back. I think that's why they brought back an old villain, is because after the Lizard one, especially because that's very intensive. I feel they were like, all right, we need a break.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Lizard issue is so good. Like, but you can tell they were definitely flexing all their muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. This is a rest. This issue is kind of a rest day of a Spider-Man workout. But because I mean,
I forget if at the time he was drawing Doctor Strange as well. It might have been just this, because I think Doctor Strange is out by now in issue 7. Again, people might have to forgive me how long that took. But Ditko also drew Doctor Strange. I don't know if he was drawing anything else. He might have. Like some stuff on the side, like uncredited work or something. But he'd be a busy guy. Like artists, like all you need to do is Google Doomsday Clock, folks, to see how hard it is to be an artist and get things on time sometimes. Like the best artists do need more time. And Ditko, especially back in the day, him and Kirby were the 2 greatest artists, no question, no contest. Kirby was just a fucking monster, and he could draw every book at once, apparently, because he was actually a new god. But Ditko was remarkably human, and he couldn't quite make that pace. So I feel like this might have been something other than the things where, all right, we don't need to design a new villain, we don't need to think about how their powers work, we just need to bring back an old threat and maybe use some panels we've had before of like Peter suiting up, because again, I've been literally, I was just trying to scroll through these issues very quickly to see if I can find the actual thing. But I know for a fact we've had another scene like this where he loads up his web shooter and he shows it off.
Yeah, no.
And I think that's three panels as well.
Yeah, no. I'll see. It felt very deja vu, but I still think it's just nice, just because, like, by issue 7, you may have missed an issue of Spider-Man, so you might have missed, like, how the web shit works.
That's true. This is like the first of the comic book. Here's what happened last time, blurb.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like a constant reminder, like, to be like, oh, hey, this is how his webs work, in case you kids didn't know.
Yeah, 'cause this is where he's getting popular, so this could have been a lot of people's first issue.
Yeah, but then right after that, we were face to face with his villain and his greatest villain, or I'm not sure that his soon-to-be greatest villain. After one of us gets on the Spider-Man book, and they finally named him Bobby.
Bobby,
the boy who saw Spider-Man climbing that one day.
He's back.
He's back, and his name is Bobby.
Oh my god. I
that was
fucking realized that.
That was the first thing I noticed when I saw this show. I'm like, holy shit, the kid's back.
Bobby's
and this time
back.
pops in the picture.
And he's getting closer. He's getting closer to where Peter Parker lives.
Yeah, and well, and exactly. Well, and the worst part is, like, his mom never believed him, but his mom was like, yeah, whatever. His dad's like getting mad at him.
Yeah.
You're just imagining things, Bobby.
You talking about that fucking Spider-Man again? Ah!
Yeah. Like, ooh, wow, yeesh. His dad kind of looks like Jonah J. Jameson.
Oh my fucking god. Do you know how much of a twist that would have been?
Oh my god, there's a second Jonah J. Jameson kid, Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby Jameson.
And he's just like an insane maniac because of Spider-Man. That's why JJ actually hates Spider-Man.
Oh my god. He's like, his son won't shut up about him.
Yeah. Like, his son wouldn't shut up about him, and, like, Jonah was his hero before Spider-Man showed up.
Oh my god. This is adding new lore that I don't think I can quite handle.
Oh, wow. The thing, Stan and Steve just threw us out here for us to discover.
It's the secret tome that they left behind that we're just now uncovering.
I swear, if we see Bobby again in their run, 3 times the charm. Something's up with this kid.
Yeah, if we see him another third time, I'm gonna freak.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, so I actually do like this scene, like, regardless of we get a bit where, like, Peter is in the house and he's waiting to jump out as Spider-Man, and he's using his spider sense to check if anyone's outside, because he's being very confident. Is like, oh, I can't let people see Spider-Man leave this house.
Yeah. yeah. I was like, yeah. That's a good thing where I feel like I feel like a plot hole, like, to an adult would be like, hey, why does no one notice Spider-Man crawling in his house? But, like, a kid wouldn't notice. But I like that Stan Lee, like, covered his tracks real fast.
Yeah.
Just like I feel like Lee probably read the issues or started to be like, wait a minute, how does Spider-Man get in and out of the house without people knowing? And then he's like, well, I'll need to do this real fast to explain why.
Now, this scene may be important in a way I don't think you know why. I'm curious if you do. Alright. Why do you think this scene is very important? Like, just this one panel of Peter checking to see if anyone's watching him.
Hold on, let me look. Are we talking about the scene right after Bobby?
Before Bobby. The panel right next to it.
Yeah. No, yes, I know. I'm reading it. I'm rereading it. I can't ever take the chance. I personally don't know why.
Alright. So, ladies and gentlemen, that panel right there might technically be the first appearance of Mary Jane.
Why? Because
that is the canon. Mary Jane is in the other house and she sees him believe this day.
Wait, but
his spider sense doesn't pick her up because she's not a threat.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. But like,
No, I'm not even saying that would be sick. There's a series called Spider-Man Parallel Lives, and it shows you the scene from Mary Jane's perspective, where she just had an argument with her aunt, and then she goes to sit out the window and looks out, and then she sees Spider-Man leaves Aunt May's house.
interesting.
And then that's when she puts it together. So since that panel in Spider-Man canon, Mary Jane knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
So she's pretty much essentially. Well, I mean, if you want to go based off like the timeline that this has given us, she's pretty much always known that he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, when she does tell him, she's like, Peter, I've always known. And this is like, oh shit, you really have since the beginning.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I can't wait to get to the series far enough where we actually see MJ.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, buddy. Ditko's gonna leave before we get to MJ.
I realize this, but I just love MJ.
We're gonna get to Gwen though, so there's that.
Yay.
There you have it, folks. Yeah, so
I'm so happy. Can you hear it in my voice?
I can feel it in the vibrations. Speaking of vibrations, Vulture is testing out new modified wings. If you remember from the last time he tangled with Spider-Man, his wings were destroyed by a little device Peter Parker had used to mess with the magnetic poles of them. So Vulture's upgraded now to remove that weakness, and we see him testing out his wings in a nice little chase sequence of him just completely evading police helicopters. And then what I find is funny is he then swoops into a building to escape, and it's like a jewelry room, and he just pulls out a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, Vulture, not gonna lie, Vulture looks kind of badass.
Not gonna lie, imagine if this is a missed opportunity. Why didn't Michael Keaton just pull out a fucking gun in Homecoming while he's in Vulture costume?
That would have been so cool. That would have made his Vulture way cooler. I feel like his Vulture was really threatening, but if his Vulture just had a simple handgun. Yeah. I think as much as just a simple thing every comic book would have.
The working man's gun.
Yeah, the working man's gun. The actual gun you're expected the actual gun
a mugging happens with.
Yeah. A mugging happens with. But at the same time, it's I feel like a handgun's kind of ideally what the founding fathers wanted you to have. I know handguns didn't exist back then, but assuming they could see the future, a handgun is what they'd want you to have. They want you to have anything much greater. This and the fact that Vulture's walking around with handguns is really interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. It's just it's also just such a drastic departure from the rest of his aesthetic.
yeah, so zany over top, and this is here's just a basic ass black gun. Give me money.
They don't even give him a ray gun or a device or anything. And again, this is Comics Code approved, and we see a villain threatening someone with a gun, which is very rare in the 60s. Batman wasn't allowed to do this.
Yeah, I wonder how we got away with it. I think it's because Vulture's so goofy.
Yeah, it's because he's not a mobster, so maybe he can get away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. We know later on Batman would eventually get after the 60s show ended and Denny O'Neil came on. But at this point, it's still 1963, 1964, maybe. Definitely not any later than that. But yeah, so Vulture's rocking guns, threatening people, getting jewelry. And then we get the nice moment you talked about earlier, where to avoid police radar, he flies very low to the ground. And I'm just someone could easily just pull your wings or something.
Yeah. It just takes one person to stand up, folks. So many people could have stopped him right here and now.
Well, that's the thing in the Marvel Universe is every civilian who's not a main cast member is the fucking worst human being alive in the Marvel Universe.
A little, I guess.
Every single civilian in the Marvel Universe who is not a cast member hates superheroes, mutters under their breath that they want to kill their neighbor, and then coughs racist mutant slurs.
Wow, Marvel Universe sucks.
No, it does, and because that's it. They're so quick to turn on you. The civilians in the Marvel Universe are just the forever ungrateful. And it's actually a good moment in like Alex Ross's Marvels. Is the main character of that book. He's like jaded by how the civilians treat superheroes, and he's like, these people give their lives for you, and you just don't fucking care. The next day you're just like slating Tony Stark, even though he just stopped an alien invasion. I can't believe you did this. And then they're just like, well, we don't care, who are you? Those goddamn muties deserve to die, or something like that. But then he meets Gwen, who is a cast member, so therefore she gets some actual personality. And then he's like, oh, this person's really nice. Why can't everyone be like this? And then when Gwen dies, he's like, well, fuck.
Oof. Wow, that's so interesting. I need to read Marvels. Everyone's always told
Dude,
me
you
to
would
read
love it
Marvels.
so much. It's so good.
Yeah, I just need to get around. I'm still like 9 months behind like regular comics. It's kind of like crippling financial debt, where it just keeps piling up, and you watch it grow, and you can't do anything about it.
It's just gonna tip all over one day.
Yep.
But then we have so Spider-Man manages to see low-hanging Vulture, and we manage to get the next confrontation. And Peter's feeling pretty confident. He's got his device. He thinks, oh, you know what, I'm going to take out the Vulture, no problem. The Vulture knows this, and I actually quite like this bit. Is a bit of confidence on Peter's part. He's still young. He's a bit too cocky. He activates the device, and then the Vulture fakes that it worked, and he's falling. So then Peter Parker goes to like try and catch him, and then the Vulture uses that to get like a really cool page where he just like does a quick 360, flies back up, and then like double punches.
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah, he does a barrel roll and he double punches Peter Parker in the face.
Yeah. So no. This is like my favorite movement that Vulture's done. I think or one of them is this cool little scene. But yeah, I just think it's good because it makes Vulture like, I like the idea that Vulture's like kind of theatrical.
Yeah.
Like, to me, theater always gives the impression off that, like, he was such a big loser that even the theater kids wouldn't accept him. But deep down, he has a theater kid heart, so, like, he finally gets to, like, play heroics. Or, like, I guess, gets to be the bad guy in heroics.
Yeah, that's why he would not design, like, an actual tactical suit. He'd design a Green Vulture outfit, because that is his role.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes sense because, again, Peter Parker's just the same. Spider-Man's a TV show costume that he adapted for crime fighting.
Yep, exactly.
It's all a show.
Yeah, exactly. It really helps to get off the vibe that these two are like trying to be larger than the other in the sense of like what they express.
So then, after he gets a good blow on Peter, Spider-Man's like completely like caught by surprise, and that rarely happens because he's got spider sense, but he actively ignores. I think Stan Lee must have been like, oh, that's a bit of a plot hole, he's got spider sense, why didn't he dodge it? But then Peter actively ignores it because he's like, well, that doesn't make any sense, which I like. I wouldn't buy it if this was like current Peter, but I like it for young, where he doesn't really get how spider sense works yet.
Yeah, I agree. Like pretty much everything that happens like with these first few pages is all like, or this first like encounters and stuff like, we're like a young Peter, like, yeah, okay, cool, I can buy this. But like if like adult like Peter, who's like fought the Vulture like 7 times already, like fell for this, you would just be like, come on, dude.
And that's the thing that always happened when Dan Slott wrote Spider-Man, because he was such a fanboy of this material. He wrote Peter like he is here when he was like almost 30.
Yeah, exactly. It makes Spider-Man look lame.
It just makes him look incompetent.
Yeah, which is lame.
Whereas here, it's endearing because he's like, this kid needs to get his licks because he needs to trial by fire.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I really like the movement of when he hits. So pretty much Vulture like kicks him down and knees him down, and he just falls straight flat into a building.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this looks really painful. Like, especially how like he just has no detail on the arm that like gets hit first. Like the webbing's missing. So it just makes it look like it's actually like glowing red with pain.
Yeah, like it would in like a Scooby-Doo cartoon when something was hot.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if it's intentional or just because Dicko didn't feel like drawing lines on that, but it definitely like gives like a sensation of like impact.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Especially because, again, this is something we rarely see in Spider-Man, is he tries to throw a web to catch himself, and he misses, and he tries again, and he misses again, and then he hits the building, which is like, again, a touch I really like is young Peter, very much that scene in Homecoming where he's like, he tries to swing and he just falls flat on his face.
Yeah,
Is there would be bits like this, is where he just mistimes shit and fucks up.
yeah, I agree because not even Spider-Man's perfect.
Because it's easy to forget when you're looking at the gracefulness of it. Spider-Man's swinging from buildings. That's dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
That's
Very
one of the
dangerous.
reasons with the new Spider-Man game is I do kind of wish it had full damage, because I feel like that sense of danger adds to the thrill and like the impressiveness and like, oh my god, this guy's amazing. Like if you ever gonna do like every Spider-Man movie kind of treats it like this larger than life fantasy thing. I think the only one that didn't was like the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. Is when he's swinging, he's very realistically swing, because they did it practically. They swing one person, and he's not doing crazy poses or anything. He's just swinging. But it's kind of like that feeling you get when you look at like those like Instagram videos of like people on really high buildings and they like jump off and they could die, but then they catch themselves.
Yeah, I agree. No,
Spider-Man's missing that feeling a lot, but this issue I think managed to capture it.
Yeah, I agree. But to Spider-Man PS4 thing, I totally agree. I think every Spider-Man game should allow me to be able to jump off the Empire State Building and just hit the concrete.
Yeah. Because A, it's really funny.
Yeah, because A, it's really funny. B, you can start writing some really dark Spider-Man stories. And then, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think that's why Spider-Man 2s always have that special place in people's hearts, because it's like the best one to climb up the Empire State Building is die.
It's just a mood.
Yeah. I think that's why our generation makes so many jokes about suicide, because Spider-Man 2 is a video game.
Who's encouraging it?
Yeah.
There's the endorsement. But yeah, so like Spider-Man's completely beaten by the Vulture this time because he got cocky, he underestimated him, and then I like how the Vulture like did a quick combo and then like finished him off. Like it wasn't like a long battle because he knew he can't beat Spider-Man, like, so he just tried to beat him as quick as he can.
Yeah, especially trying to literally hit and then run.
Yeah, and then a nice interesting twist we get here is for once damage in this comic isn't something you just shrug off. Is Spider-Man's like, oh fuck, did I break my arm?
Yeah. I think that's really cool and interesting though. Just because like I feel like out of all the shit that's happened to him, why did this break the arm?
Yeah, well I guess he did fall like ridiculously high.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but I don't know. I feel like getting smashed into a building by the lizard. I feel like he should have broken something with Dr. Octopus.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if you're gonna break him with anything, that Dr. Octopus fight was scrappy.
Or Doctor Doom even.
And Dr. Doom is straight up either you're gonna be totally okay or you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like Doom does not leave someone damaged.
Doom does not do half measures. He either kills you or allows you to retreat at full health.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll say, yeah, I really like the way he like draws like these panels and like, you know, scene shaping. He did one with once Aunt May being in Spider-Man's room. It kind of gives like an espionage vibe to it.
Yeah, it's very much that it's that scene from this first Spider-Man movie, directly ripped, where Peter comes home after fighting a villain. He's injured on his arm. He takes his mask off. Someone's opening the door, so he jumps on the ceiling.
Yeah, I'll say, which I don't know. That seems like this stuck in my mind, just like of Spider-Man isms.
Yeah.
The good old ceiling jump. Because like, why don't people ever look up?
I guess
Like,
I remember someone saying that in like one of the video games, or like Marvel is like, do you think it's stupid that S.H.I.E.L.D. has like a helicarrier? Like, why didn't people just see it? He's like, how often do you look up in your life?
I look up all the time.
Yeah, because you all got dragon energy, Measy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But like,
Not everyone's a dragon looking to the sky.
yeah, I guess that's true. But like, I don't. I feel like if something's like, well, you know how when those scenes happen, like the Aunt May, the Norman Osborn, who because I feel like wasn't Norman Osborn the one who was popped up
Yes,
and
it was Norman.
yeah. He looks at the ooh, that scene's so good. I always feel like there's a tension that they know that something's up and they're just trying to figure out what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they just ever look up? Like, if you know what's up, if you know something weird's up, you might as well just like actually do a good search. But yeah, but I don't know. I just like the scene just because of that's fun.
Imagine how much Spider-Man continuity would have changed forever if Aunt May looked up here.
Yeah, exactly. Like she would have known so early.
She might have had a fucking heart attack.
Guess she just died, especially because they haven't de-aged her yet. She's like 98.
Yeah.
But I think you really might be onto something, but they might be kind of pressed for time. Because something I've noticed and kind of liked is that I always feel like they always try to do something a little bit different with all of Peter's outfits, like with each comic.
Mm-hmm.
But he just wears two outfits in this, and they're both like feel very, very reused.
Yeah, the first one is exactly what he wore before, and this is his iconic blue outfit we talked about.
Yeah. This is his Post Malone energy. But no, he he walks in, makes a great excuse, and Aunt May's scolding him for getting hurt playing volleyball.
Yeah, which I mean, I agree. He's like, don't. She's not like, how did you get hurt? She's like, that's too dangerous for you.
Yeah, imagine someone be like volleyball's too dangerous for you, Chief.
That's the ultimate insult to him.
Yeah. Even the worst part is he goes to school the next day and people start making fun of him.
I know, right? It's so harsh. They would just you think this would be like, you got that hurt? Oh, so maybe you do play sports. Maybe that's a battle scar. Well done, Peter. You actually are active. They don't take that. It's just they start criticizing for it. But the last time they saw him, they would tell him to piss off because he was too soft for it.
Yeah.
And then Liz Allen is like straight up like laughing at him because he's gone red because he's angry. She thinks she's blushing, and then she's laughing at him. It's like, Peter, you tried to date this girl. Why? She's awful.
Yeah, I just don't get the Liz Allen hype. Like, I guess I get it in Homecoming because she's like not a terrible human being and she's attractive. But FYI, I was underage when Homecoming came out for.
I don't think you have to justify that. I think you're allowed to say that the actress is pretty. I think that's okay.
Nah, I want the FBI to know right here and right now. But yeah, what the fuck's the hype of Liz Allen? She's just a very basic short-haired blonde woman who just makes fun of you. What do you want this?
I think it's mostly to do, like, if you're going to take like a realistic look at it beyond just the Stanley wanted to have like the girl crush. It's very much that she's Flash's girl, and therefore she's the popular girl, and like Peter feels that she's the prize to be won to prove that I'm better than Flash.
Yeah,
which is a very toxic mentality, but it's the exactly kind of thing that this 15-year-old Peter Parker would go through. When he's being bullied, he'd be like, "Well, if you wouldn't laugh at me if your girl was dating me."
Yeah, that's true.
It's very much like just a way for him to get one up on Flash.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is kind of crazy then, because Liz Allen ends up marrying Harry Osborn.
Oh yeah, that does happen, doesn't it?
And they have that. She has Norman Osborn's grandchild.
I mean, well, that's not saying much. I mean, hell, Gwen Stacy almost had Norman Osborn's kid.
I'm gonna delete that bit of audio. It's not gonna be in this. It's not gonna be in this podcast. It's not gonna sacrilege.
All right, that's fine. I don't blame you.
Ugh, alright. But yeah, so we cut to, after the school roasting, we cut to a very suspiciously penis-shaped hideout.
Wow, I didn't even look like it. Well, it looked like a penis, but like now I'm literally looking at it, like it looks like balls that like. Like the way that the plant's like shaped, like it literally looks like a hairy scrotum.
Ditko trying to do that subliminal messaging.
Steve Ditko.
Aha! But yeah, the Vulture's like proud of his plan. This is the funniest. I love this so much. So like the Vulture is so confident right now. He's like his sleeves are with his wings, they're detachable. So he just got sitting here, sleeveless, looking like a baller with his collar on.
Yeah, yeah. He looks so fucking cool. Like he looks like he's about to like just drop a mixtape or something.
He's got his leg up. He's like posed. Sitting on his desk, and then we
Vulture flying high.
They've got this iconic panel of like the big brain image of like.
Look how long his finger is.
It's like that. It's like that meme of like Perfect Sal, where he's like, my nucleus is located in my head.
Yeah, same. Oh my god, this is the same energy.
And he's looking right at the camera. He's if you move in the panel, his eyes follow you. It's really fucking creepy.
Oh god. Ditko knew what he was doing.
Ditko has untapped power that we cannot fathom.
Yeah, but
he gets like the best idea. He's like, use my Vulture powers to rob a bank. No. Use my Vulture powers to like sell the suit to the military and get loads of money. No. Use my Vulture powers to steal another pass. No. Use my Vulture powers to fly to Daily Bugle of J. Jonah Jameson and steal their pay envelopes. Big brain.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
He's just got the... What is it with the Vulture and stealing envelopes? He did it last time as well. He stole documents.
Yeah. Bro, he wants that paper.
He literally is building a nest. That's what I think this is.
Do you know how awesome it would be if like they reveal right now, like in the next issue of Spider-Man, that the Vulture's actually just been building a big ass nest this entire time?
He's got like a huge egg that he's about to lay.
Yeah. It's just like in a weird part of upstate New York that's like hidden that no one ever goes to.
Oh my god.
And then just in the middle of it, that'd be wild.
And one thing I just can't remember is how many chins this guy is drawn with.
He's at 4.
He's got 4 double chins. Hardcore. No. He's got. The thing is, I've never seen one man have so many chins yet have no jaw.
Yeah. Imagine being skinny as a real and having 4 chins.
The Vulture is built very strangely because his arms are muscular.
Yeah. He's got skinny legs, muscular arms, and no.
He's got no jawline.
Yeah, no jaw but 4 chins.
Oh my god, he's one. I could see why the fans requested him.
And his ears look like they're like still like they don't look like they're like they pop out of his head. They look like actual like bird ears. What a beautiful.
The thing is as well is this isn't like we're slamming on older artists. No. Steve Ditko is a fantastic art. He knew exactly what he was drawing here because no one else is drawn like this.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Peter Parker, honestly, like Jonah J and Peter Parker are very decent looking human beings.
Yeah.
Both like he purposely like was like I am going to take 4 different bodies and combine them into one human being. That's the big brain play behind Vulture.
This is how it's going. But yeah, Vulture decides he's going to go to the Daily Bugle and steal the pay envelopes. And then we get this is actually a really cute interaction between Peter and Betty. Is this where the romance is actually, I can buy why he'd like this girl? I don't understand what Liz, but this I can actually buy, this is Peter Parker's first crush, because he's flirting with this girl. Betty's like, I don't believe you got hurt that way. What really happened? And then he says, oh, well, really, it happened when I was fighting the Vulture. And she's like, oh, yeah, sure, Peter, whatever. Very, very Clark Kent, Lois Lane.
Yeah. I'll say, like, like whenever they do that little bit at the end of the Fleischer cartoons, are like always my favorite little bit. So like it was cool seeing Spider-Man do that.
Which is again part of my like idea is like Spider-Man is very much the anti-Superman. He's got a lot of Superman elements, and this particular his relationship with Betty Brant is very anti-Clark Kent, Superman. Whereas Betty Brant doesn't like Spider-Man, but she likes Peter Parker. Whereas Lois Lane in the old days liked Superman, but didn't like Clark Kent.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, but then the goat himself is now here, and I need to get an inflation thing because he says I only paid $10 for this picture of Vulture. I don't know how much like that'd be in like modern money. I think it probably would be like
back in the day, definitely.
Yeah. I'll say. But I mean like inflation's gone up a lot, but like not that much really. Like it's like $10 equates to like 150 or something. It's probably like $10 equals like I don't know. $20-$25 if I had to guess.
I think it would be way more than that. I think you're underselling that. To be fair,
well,
you should look at. We'll look it up after this episode. But like, I definitely feel like he'd be getting a decent like. All right, kid, go buy yourself a record. Go buy yourself a Coke with your gal or something. That's what $10 would buy you. It'd be buy your weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Oh yeah. No. That's what I mean. Like I feel like it. Yeah, I guess you're right. See, I was thinking more like maybe maybe it's McDonald's and like and like a soda pop, later.
Yeah.
I think I think you're right. I think it would have paid for like a weekend of like stuff to do.
That's how it feels like to me. At least from again, I didn't even know what people wore in the '60s, so I can't say what they did and bought, what money was worth. So
yeah, good point.
Yeah, so as they're talking to JJ to like negotiate, the Vulture's like jumps in the window.
Yeah, I just don't. I just like the way if you look at how big the window is, and how wide his wings are, he wants to go straight in and pop them out like so fast,
so dramatically for the flag.
Yeah. To be able to say that with that type of float at that angle. Like Vulture's gotta have some like peak like reaction time, like he also has something better than Spider Sense.
And then immediately he pulls out the gun.
Does he really? Oh yeah, the gun is there. I'll say I didn't even notice the gun the first time I was reading it. I just thought he was standing at desk like a goober.
Nah, he's pointed.
Yeah.
So he's literally got Jonah at gunpoint, and he's like, "Open the vest, open the safe, or I'll kill you." And Jonah kind of has a heroic moment here, but it's also really funny. Is he's like hardcore trying to bargain with him to make sure that he doesn't steal his money. And I'm really like, Jonah, how bad is your business practice where all of your money for your business is in one safe?
Yeah.
But then again, I'm also like, Jonah seems like he's got that Mr. Krabs mentality where he doesn't trust banks.
Yeah. Jordan James is definitely the type of dude who wouldn't trust a bank.
He literally has everything in cash under a sofa or something.
Yeah. He has it at Miss Brent's desk.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no. Oh, that's sick. Well, I also like to think I personally like digging the idea that Jonah Jameson really isn't a bad guy when it boils down. I like to think he also just does it when his employees to get robbed.
Yeah, I like the fact that if you work for the Daily Bugle, Jonah will like he'll shout at you, but if anyone else tries to come at you, he'll like give you their life for you.
Yeah, he's pretty much like a dad to all the Daily Bugle employees.
Mm-hmm. Like a shitty dad, but a loving one nevertheless.
Yeah. I'm saying like that dad archetype where he won't ever be like I love you to your face, but like if anyone ever tries to fuck you, he's like throwing hands.
Yeah, basically. Which is a very nice relationship. We don't really get that here, But it's very funny to see Jonas like panicking with the Vulture, and it gives, because he's so loud and so like attention grabbing, it gives Peter the chance to slip away and turn into Spider-Man, which I really like.
Yeah. It's just funny that Peter Strip walked out of the room.
Yeah, it's that panel when he's like just looking dead at them while he's sliding.
Yeah.
I need to use that when I'm like in a conversation with someone. I'm just like, I'm leaving this. Bye.
Bro, I've known people who do it.
When you see two friends arguing on the timeline, and you just deserve to dip.
Yeah. Oh god, if I had $1 every time that happened. Anytime I saw the name Zack Snyder, I had enough money to fund his next movie.
Oh my god. But yeah, so Peter gets changed, his arm's still busted, so he makes like a web sling. Not like the typical web sling where like it's visible, he uses a very thin strand of web, which I like because his webbing's supposed to be really, really strong.
Yeah, I know, but I just think the thick web sling looks cool.
Yeah, it does, but at this point he's trying to make it not obvious.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because I feel like I feel like it was obvious. Jameson would be like, wait a minute, Parker had a web sling. Parker was just here. Parker Spider-Man.
Yeah, literally, he could. That would be a very risky thing.
Yeah, it's this smart.
Yes, Spider-Man then
Peter
jumps through the same window the Vulture came in through.
Yeah, I love Spider-Man's pose when he runs through. He just looks like he ran through it.
And then the Vulture immediately pulls the gun on it.
Yeah, and Spider-Man immediately just goes, boop,
and it's completely
goes
done.
thwop.
Yeah, so like it's not. So when I like it as well, we're still using thwip, but it's thwomp when it hits something.
Yeah, which I agree. I think there should be a slight sound variation between when it comes out and when it hits something.
Mm-hmm. So then the gun's completely useless. This isn't the last time we see the Vulture use a gun, but it'll be the last time you see him use it for like years. There's a really, really funny issue of I think it was Peter Parker Spider-Man. It was like a 2000s issue. It's one of my favorite ones. It might have been one of the earliest Spider-Man comics I've read, because it was like in the it would like be given out in like supermarkets and stuff in England. Not given out, but like it would be on the racks, and they never really had comics like that. So I picked it up, and one of my favorite is like about the Vulture and Spider-Man like on a snowy day, and then like he tells the Spider-Man to meet him somewhere for their final battle, and he says this is the place where it all began. As Peter Parker goes to the wrong building because he thinks of it. He goes to Daily Bugle because he thinks this was the first fight because he can't. It's been so many years, and the Vulture's like, "I was at the other one for an hour. Where were you?"
Oh, that hurts my heart. Poor Vulture.
And then the Peter Parker goes, "Oh yeah," and then Vulture like pulls a gun on him like point blank. And is like, I swore I'd never use one of these again because it wasn't my style. But I'm done with this. I'm sick of this. I just want to kill you. And then Spider-Man just like dead is like, just looking at him like straight at him, is like, oh yeah, you did. I remember. Okay, you did have a gun.
That's great. Wait, does he actually say guns aren't my style in that issue? Because he says it right here.
He says it here as well.
That's awesome.
He says guns aren't my style because they're too common. But at that point, he's just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like almost 80 now, and you've been fighting me for over 10 years. I need you dead.
Yeah.
That's a funny thing as well. We get a lot of Spider-Man villains say that. Is like, Kraven has the same thing in Last Hunt. Is he's like, Spider-Man's like, you never used guns before. Why would you do this now? And then Kraven's just like, this is the last time.
Yeah. It's something interesting. That's a very interesting connection between Spider-Man, villains, and guns.
Mm-hmm. It's like he has no rule against it, really, but like it just never comes up.
Well, yeah, I think it's because all these villains, like Spider-Man's so amazing, spectacular. They want to beat Spider-Man in a way that's kind of spectacular too. They don't want to use a gun. They want to use their weird powers or figure something out to like stop his powers. They just don't want to shoot him. That's boring.
Yeah, that's why Norman Osborn makes fucking pumpkin bombs, and Dr. Octopus never uses a gun. Actually, no, Dr. Octopus he used a gun when he was Spider-Man. He didn't use a gun when he was Dr. Octopus.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a interesting. It's kind of like I I feel like there's an idea, like, Spider-Man likes to play into the theatrics of the superhero work. I think his villains definitely do too.
I think it's a great
Well,
idea.
Like Green Goblin, like obviously did it, but that's because Norman's insane. But I think like even if he's like not insane, it kind of like will go into the theatrics of it. Like the Vulture will do it. I feel like the Rhino's probably into the theatrics. He just doesn't realize he is.
Sandman
Like,
never uses a gun.
Yeah, Sandman uses the gun, so I think Sandman like thinks it's fun what they're doing.
They have fun doing it. Electro certainly.
Lizard does not have fun. I think Lizard's an exception to the rule. I don't think Lizard just wants his babies to be the new master race.
Basically. But no, it's an interesting little running trope in Spider-Man. There's never any real, like, aside from like Kingpin, there's never really like grounded supervillains, unlike Batman and stuff where you get like Deadshot and stuff.
What about Hammerhead and Tombstone?
Oh, that's a good point. But yeah, even then, the Hammerhead always uses like Tommy guns. Like he's making a statement with it because it's a classic.
I'm more impressed. I was able to remember Hammerhead off the top of my fucking head.
Yeah.
Who remembers Hammerhead off the top of their... Hammerhead's such a dumb supervillain, but we'll get to him when we get to him, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Maybe our opinions will change once we get there. But just in terms of something good supervillain, this is a really, really fun set piece of fighting in the Daily Bugle for the first time. Another trope of Spider-Man that will happen a lot.
Yes, I really like it because the movement's really like... It feels really chaotic. And I like that.
Like enclosed space.
Yeah, and you could. I don't think Spider-Man. I don't think doesn't. The thing is, Spider-Man. I don't think is hindered in a closed space. But I feel like Vulture really is. Yeah. So like Vulture's panicking because he's like, I am not made to do this.
And I really like it as well because, it's a very... we kind of started at the start of this issue by saying, oh, maybe this was one of the ones that they did to save time. But maybe it wasn't that. Maybe because this scene is very well drawn and there's a lot of background detail. Maybe this last part took longer, so the first part needed a bit of extra filler.
Yeah, exactly. If that's the case, I'm okay. That was a good trade-off, probably.
Yeah, because this is... I don't know about you, but I much prefer this to our first battle.
Oh, yeah, this is way more fun. I agree. Well, especially like after we get out of like the reporter side and like and like they're going up and down the stairs and then you see like Spider-Man doing all these dicko poses.
It's really cool because then we fight in the very tight office area, and then we go to the printing space. There's a little bit more room, but it's not totally open. And then finally, he chases him out the window, and we go back into the air again. So it's like we're moving through locations as we fight.
Yeah, it's really seamless. It feels like a movie set piece almost.
It definitely does. There's a lot. It's very much, I agree, like, they're probably thinking, alright, we're bringing the Vulture back. We don't want to have them fight in the air again. We kind of did everything we could have done there at the first time. We're going to mix it up this time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So it's basically Spider-Man still doing this one arm. He manages to get a web onto Vulture, but then Vulture grabs him and then flies him up as high as he can get. And while we're doing this, I do want to point out, I think this is the funniest Spider-Man's been, like, quip-wise, so far. Like, Spider-Man's really fucking, like...
He's like, this is... See, like, to me, this is, like not the Spider-Man norm to be this quippy. It's, like he's only this quippy if he's really trying to fuck with you. Like hard, but like this, but this is like the amount of quip level I feel like some people think is just the normal amount.
It's because he's got his arms in a sling and he has to keep him off balance, so he's deliberately provoking him. Yeah,
exactly. Like I don't like for this scene it works very well, but I don't like the idea of Spider-Man's always this quippy,
But I just really like the line is where Vulture's like, you just made your last fatal mistake, Spider-Man. I'll shake you off like a dog shakes a flea. And then Spider-Man's like, I think your modesty is what I like most about you.
Yeah.
Like, that's just genuinely funny today. Like, a lot of jokes back then don't really hold up. But Stanley was fucking funny. Like, the dude knew how to write comedy.
Yeah.
Like, especially when like, Spider-Man, he's just like, Spider-Man, I feel so bad that I'm about to drop you from this height. He's like, yeah, I can see you're all broke, God. I can see how bad you feel about all this.
Yeah, no, I'll say he, oh yeah, or yeah, you know, once Vulture really starts freaking out, thinking he's gonna die, he's like, I can't have two, or you know, he's like, save me, save me, save me, and Spider-Man's just like, he's like, I can't, I'm a little too busy admiring your tight-lipped courage.
Literally.
like that's such a good roast.
Yeah, and the reason why that happens is, so as we were saying, Vulture like lifts him up into the air, and he's about to drop him to his death, but then Spider-Man webs one of his wings up, so then the Vulture can't fly, so then the Vulture's falling, and like Spider-Man's like holding on to him, and Vulture's like, oh, we're both gonna die now, you fool. But then Spider-Man uses his webs to make a parachute, and they glide down to safety, and while he's doing it, the Vulture's having a massive freak out, and Peter literally beat him with one hand behind his back.
Yeah, how does that feel? Oof. That hurts.
I think this issue particularly is the last nail in the coffin of Vulture ever potentially being a main Spider-Man villain. He's always going to be C tier after this.
I feel like he could be a main villain in the sense that like he's like Vulture. I feel like could always be there like as a Sinister Six cast member or something.
Yeah, but he's never going to be a threat on his own.
He's never going to be a solo threat ever again.
Because teenage
Spider-Man,
Peter Parker beat him with one hand behind his back. Adult Peter Parker should be demolishing them every time.
Yes, yeah, he doesn't beat him in this. He demoralized him. Mm-hmm. He destroyed the man's entire ego.
And he was so confident at the start.
Yeah. Well, the best part is the clips don't even stop after he takes down Vulture. Because then he pops straight back. I just love how Jameson screams out to Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, wait!
Spider-Man's like, yeah, what's up?
Yes, Mr. Jameson. Like I love that. Yes, Mr. Jameson is almost as if he forgot that he's not Peter Parker mode at the moment, so he like replies to him as he is normally.
Yeah. No, I like that too. Like at first I thought it was weird, but then I was like, oh, that's what Peter's doing. And then he's just like, I want you to know how you're responsible for all the damage done to my building. It's all your fault. He's like, what? Are you a professional nut?
And they have an argument, and then it's actually this is very much, we've established the classic dynamic between them now. Is like he's webbed him up to the ceiling and had him fall down. He's webbed this chair. What's the last trope we need to complete? Spider-Man webs his mouth shut.
Yeah, which let's be honest, I think that's Peter's favorite trope to play on.
Yeah, and then we get more Jonah swearing in the red bubble, but it's not as obvious what he's saying now.
Yeah, it's this.
I just wish he poked a hole in it. He's just like, fuck!
Yeah. That'd be so good.
It's just like, that's just like the one F-bomb there. They make a PG-13 Spider-Man movie, and only JJ's allowed the F-bomb.
Yeah, well, no, it would be funnier if he's able to pop it open, you hear him scream fuck, and then like when he closes his mouth, like suck in more air, the webs like attached and get stuck again.
Oh my god. That's kind of dark, actually.
Yeah, I know. He's just like, fuck. well, it's just because, like, well, you can breathe fine out of your nose, but when your mouth's covered up, your brain just goes to the idea, like, hey, this is not right. I need to start breathing out of my mouth, because why can't I do this? So then he just does it naturally, and then he gets stuck again. He's like, rrr.
So, like, Jonah's freaking out. Spider-Man's kind of got the perfect victory. Again, this is another happy end in Spider-Man stories. There's always this myth of every Spider-Man story has to end with, like, a tragedy. Peter won here pretty handily. He had a tough time. His arm got a bit hurt, but mostly he took out the villain with no problem, and they got to laugh at Jonah.
Well, the doctor even said he'll be fine in a week, so it doesn't. It's like it's a hindrance, but it isn't like it's gonna be more than a few days.
Mm-hmm. Especially with his healing, it might even be less than that.
Yeah, exactly.
So Spider-Man then like crawls into the Daily Bugle once he makes look like he disappeared, to get his civilian clothes back on, and he changes to Peter Parker and he appears And then behind the desk is Betty Brant, and it's actually really cute. This moment is Peter's like, "Oh, if you're hiding behind the desk, can I join you?" And they sit behind the desk together. It's just very sweet.
Yeah, I'll say it was a surprisingly wholesome end.
Mm-hmm. And especially because Peter Parker is still the smoothie, because so first she's like, "Where were you?" And then he's just like, "Well, I'm not the heroic type." And then she's like, "Well, that's what I like about you, Peter. You don't pretend to be what you're not." And then it's just like,
yeah, like, yeah, for sure. And then Jameson comes screaming through, probably saying stories about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
If we had to guess. And then Peter makes a joke about the boss, and rule number one: if you want to get a lady at your place of business, tell her a good joke about the boss.
Yeah, it's always the key to any co-worker. Really, is just everyone loves laughing at the boss, especially when there's someone like Jonah. Yeah,
exactly. And then this is the smoothest I've ever seen Peter Parker. So Betty does kind of Lois Lane thing where it's like, hey, I think you're on to I think you know something that I don't, Peter. But instead of doing the Clark thing, Clark would be like, oh shucks, I don't know nothing, Lois. He's just like keep using that perfume, Betty, and I'll tell you what I know.
I'll tell you my secret.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, this is again. So when Tobey Maguire did this in Spider-Man 3 with Betty, like proper hardcore flirting, it was supposed to be out of character because with that Tobey, Peter would never do this. Tom Holland would never say this. Andrew Garfield, spot on, is the only Peter Parker so far who could pull this off.
Yeah, I agree. I think. Well, my thing is with like Peter, like. I think Peter did the thing with Tobey's Spider-Man is like, yeah, Peter's definitely shy with women, which is very anti-comic Peter. But I feel like it was just like he's shy because he's like blindly in love with Mary Jane, and he was never taught how to show like feelings of love like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even Tom Holland was like, well, I'm a nerd, lol. I'm scared to talk to girls because nerds do not talk to girls. Like that's essentially like the vibe that Tom Holland Spider-Man gives me. But so yeah, I know you're right. Only Garfield Spider-Man would have truly done this like well. Well, the worst thing is she falls for it.
Yeah, but like Peter Parker, that's the closest thing I've ever heard to romantic I've ever heard you say, and then he doesn't stop because then if you thought that was romantic, he calls her Blue Eyes as well. This is how much of a horn dog he is. He has one default compliment.
Yeah. He just mentions the fact that Blue Eyes. He did the same thing to Liz Allen last issue.
And then I bet he'll say it to Gwen.
Yeah.
He can't say it to Mary Jane, but like, I legitimately just trying to go through my head now. How many of Spider-Man's girlfriends have got blue eyes?
Yeah, I guess probably more than you think.
Especially because Peter Parker's in bed and he just screams out blue eyes. He's normally going to get a better answer. He's probably going to get away with it than someone else's name.
Yeah, for real.
I find it so fucked that the last issue he calls Betty Blue Eyes and she's like, not Betty, Liz, and she's like really like happy about it. But then he calls Betty Blue Eyes the next one. I'm just like, you fucking sleazeball. I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, so he just was. Peter's the spare coochie meme personified.
Literally. But yeah, so and then we end it with just them. It's very cute. Of just them sitting underneath a desk. A very like as Jonah's freaking out. It's very anti-superheroic ending where normally it's the superhero who saves the girl and then they like put him off to the sunset after a romantic tearful farewell or something, like especially this era. This is very much Betty was just hiding. Peter then walks up to her, says he was hiding, and then they just sit down and laugh about it. Like, that's a very human... Like, I'd like a scene like this in a Spider-Man movie, or any Marvel... not even Marvel, just any superhero movie. I like scenes where there's a human connection. Hi, folks. Unfortunately, the audio recording cut out at the end of the episode here, so we're going to have to cut this one short, but we covered most of the issue, so hope you don't mind, and yeah, we'll see you next time.